Hi everyone. So we are a group called FreeEd, and my name is Puna. I'm part of this group, and this is a project for our class at MCKL. We are college students at Methodist College, Kuala Lumpur, and this is our project for service learning, which is a compulsory subject we have. But don't worry, this project was completely our idea. The idea for the project was completely ours. So we're doing this from the bottom of our hearts, and we hope that you appreciate and learn something from what we are doing. So the topic that I've chosen to teach today is music, and I've made it very easy for some music for kids. We're learning a bunch of stuff you'll see as we move on. Okay, so I'm sure you've at least heard one song, all of you, right? So what you like to do is listen to music in your free time, or even if it isn't, um, you can exchange your favorite songs with either your friends or your family or your teacher, your supervisor, and just see if they like the same music as you because you might also learn some new songs. If they don't like the same song as you can learn a new song and that'll be really fun. You can sing the song to each other and just have fun. Okay? And then after you sing the song to each other, or if you already know the song, ask each other what you love the most about the song. Is it the words of the song, like as in the lyrics? So the word lyrics means the words of the song, the words of the song. Okay. So like for example, Twinkle 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 Little Star. The lyrics are Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, how I wonder what you are. How about the words of fire like a diamond in the sky? Those are the lyrics, right? So I mean, sorry, that's a bad example, but it's the same thing. It's just the words of the song. There's a tune and the lyrics are what give it words. Or could it be the instruments of the song that you like? Or is it the person who's singing the song? Right? So there are a lot of factors. There may even be more. You can tell each other if there's anything else about the song that you like. If you're really into the song, you'll find the different reason. But even if you really like the voice, the person's voice, they have a very, very nice voice. So that's like the reason you always listen to the song. Okay, so this is a very basic introduction to music. I'm sure all of you know music consists of like a tune or a melody. It has a rhythm, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So the timing of the song is maintained. It doesn't run, doesn't slow down. So you can also tap along and you feel like you're part of the song, right? So it has a tune, it has a rhythm, and it also has feeling or an expression, which is something you don't always see, but you feel it when you hear someone play, or you hear an instrument play. So it's not just about the rhythm or the melody, it's about the way the rhythm is played and the way the melody is played. And it can induce a certain feeling in the person listening and also the person playing. Okay? So, and of course, songs also have the words. So the words of a song are always written by the composer who will have a deep meaning behind why they wrote the words. Okay? So, and usually the tune of the song will match the words. So if it's a sad song about something sad that has happened, the tune is usually going to be a very sad, um, emotional tune. But if it's like a happy song, maybe a very cheerful, very joyful, upbeat song, right? So everything you're in music, a very important factor is emotion. Okay, so these are some basic musical keywords that you hear me throwing around in this teaching session. So just for you to have a brief idea, so I don't have to keep explaining it every time. So the first one is the melody of the song. So I'm sure you've heard. Just take any of your favorite, maybe the song you sang earlier. The tune of the song, as in without the words, the tune itself is the melody. Then you have the notes. Now, this is something as listeners of music, we don't see this, we don't see notes. But the musician sees the notes and plays the melody based on notes. The melody is what you hear, the notes is what is played by the musician. Okay? So the musician plays the notes and what you hear is the melody. And the next thing is rhythm. Rhythm is the beat. To put it simply, the beat of the song. Right? So, like I said earlier, 1, 2, 3. 4 can also be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and it can also be there's so many different types of rhythm. Rhythm can go really deep. Yeah, but I won't get too deep into it. You just need to know that it's the beat of the song. Okay? And finally, instruments. I'm sure all of you know instruments. Like, I'll give you some examples, some basic examples like the piano, violin, drums, um, cello, like some other stuff, like instruments that you've heard in orchestras. I don't know if you've seen orchestras, but that's a type of band, not really a band, it's just like a group of musicians kind of perform together in a big, maybe like a big section of violins, big section of brass instruments, then a piano, and the director will be in front, sorry, the conductor will be in front. So that's an orchestra, and it's full of instruments. Okay? There's so many different types of trumpet. Those are all instruments, okay? So they produce musical sounds. Instruments are devices that produce musical sounds. Okay? And oh, fun fact, your voice is actually a musical instrument. Those for singers who sing, now they consider their voice a musical instrument. So we're going to the first key term today, which is the melody. So remember in the beginning when I told you to sing your favorite song? Well, not only your favorite song has a melody. Every single song that you hear out there has a tune or a melody. Okay. So otherwise, like without the melody, it will just be words. And if there are no words to the song, have you heard of instrumental pieces? So if it's just instrumental, then that is still musical. But if it was just words, then it'll just be like, right? If there's no tune to it, it'll just be talking. So melody is usually created by the composer of the song. The composer is a person who writes the notes. Remember earlier I mentioned the notes. He writes, or he or she would write the notes, and the musician will play it. Sometimes the composer is also a musician. Sorry, I'm throwing in a lot of information at you, but I hope you learn something from it. So the tune can also portray an emotion, like I said before. So here's a question for you to discuss. Do you prefer happy melodies or sad melodies? Now, don't look at sad melodies as a bad thing. Actually, I really like sad melodies. I wouldn't really call them sad, I'd say emotional melodies, or the melodies that it doesn't necessarily mean you're a sad person, it's just that you enjoy listening to this kind of slow moving, songs. And yeah, so just discuss with each other whether you like happy songs or sad songs. Maybe you can even give each other an example of a happy or sad song that you like. Okay, notes. The second key term from earlier. So, and I don't know if you can see this picture properly, but you can see notes here. You can see some are like that, like there's a tail at the end. Some are straight. Some are like a hole and like a straight line, and then like the letter P or the letter B, right? So these are all musical notes. Don't worry, they are not the letters P or B. They are particular notes, and actually there are different names for it, but I won't get into that today. It'll be too much information. Notes are symbols that are known by all musicians. So every single musician out there will know the notes, unless of course they didn't go and learn professionally and they probably like it up on their own. But notes are generally known universally by all musicians. So they show the musician what to play and how to play it. It shows the melody. So depending on where they are placed in the lines on which the notes are written are called state lines. So depending on where the notes are placed, that shows the melody. The higher they are, the higher the notes go on the lines, the higher the melody. Okay. Then the different notes, like one looks like it has a tail, one is straight, one has a hole, one has a dot next to it. Those show the different timings of each of the different rhythm. Okay. So it's a lot of information, but you can always refer to this video. You can go back and listen to what I'm saying again. I know I talk quite fast, so I hope you pick up what I'm saying. So notes on the piano. I'm sure you've all seen or have a rough idea of what a piano looks like, but this is a scale. This is an octave of a piano. So an octave consists of 8 notes generally, but if you include the black notes, it will include 12 notes. Okay. So the extreme right, can you see the C right at the end? This one. C here. This is part of the next octave. So you can see this is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then it goes to C again. But it will continue C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and so on and so forth. Between each note, you have C sharp, D sharp, then you have F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp. So this note can also be B flat or E flat. We won't get into that. We just know it as C sharp, A sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. Okay? On a grand piano, which is a piano that is usually used in orchestras, like I mentioned earlier, will consist of 7 octaves. Sometimes, like I think you've heard keyboards, which are like a synthesized piano. Don't always have 7 octaves. They may be smaller so that people find it convenient to keep them in their houses. So 7 octaves is quite a lot. It's this image here, this thing, times 7. Okay, just imagine that. Okay. And actually, this is a fun fact, and you'll remember this, it'll be important later. Fun fact is the piano has a total of 88 keys. So, including white and black keys, it consists of 88 keys. These are called keys, okay, or notes. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, spade lines. You just need some notes on the paper. They were written on this thing, these lines. So there are a total of 5 lines. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the notes are written here. This is an example of a note. Not the stars there, what they are, but this is an example of a note. So you can write it like that on this line. Sorry if that doesn't make sense, but I think you understand somehow. Okay, so you'll be probably wondering like, what this symbol is here. This is called a treble clef. This is how it's spelled, treble clef. Okay, refer to this. So what this means is it's telling the musician that they need to play on their right hand. Or this is for piano. I play the piano, so I'm talking based on piano. But different instruments have a different indication of this. Right? It's usually to play the treble notes or the higher notes. There's another clef called the bass clef, which is used to indicate the left hand. Okay, but this is for the right hand. Treble clef is to indicate right hand. Okay. Okay. Next, rhythm. So rhythm is the beat at which the song is played. I'm sure you've all heard of drums. You know, like any kind of drum, be it the generic drum like this, or it could be. I'm not sure if you've heard of the tabla. I'll be talking about it later. Or any kind of drum that you see around. A gong is also considered a drum. Okay, those kind of things. So basically, the drummer plays a very important role in a band or an orchestra. They have to make sure that the rhythm of the song is maintained throughout the song and that the speed is not slowing down or getting faster. There, of course, you heard there's definitely some songs that don't require a drum or the beat to be maintained because there's no particular beat. It's just a tune that keeps going and going. It can slow down, it can speed up, right? But however, these sort of songs require a lot of practice using this device over here. It's a metronome, okay, a metronome. So this is how you spell it, metronome, okay. So basically what happens is you can adjust the speed with this thing over here and you release this yellow stick here and it will go like this. It will based on the speed you put and you use that as your rhythm maintainer, okay. So you practice using a metronome. You don't use this on an actual performance day. You use this for practice. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about a few musical instruments of Asia. These are instruments that are commonly found in Asia. I mean, you can find them in Western countries as well, but they originate from Asian countries. So I just thought it'd be nice to include some awareness about our culture. Sometimes people look past that and they go towards more basic stuff. And I think this is equally as important as other instruments like the piano, the trumpet, the cello. These are also equally important. Okay, so the violin. The violin is a string instrument which has 4 strings. You can count here 1, 2, 3, 4. It comes with a bow as well. The bow is used on top of the string. So this part, you see this, the orange part of the bow, it rests on the string and you can play it like that. See, this guy here is playing it. And the fingers, your left hand or your non-dominant hand, you play the notes on the neck of the violin. Okay? And the way he's holding the bow over here with his hands like that is actually a very specific way to hold the bow in order for ease of movement. And you can actually also pluck the strings. Sometimes people only use their bow, it gives a different effect. Pluck the strings for like a detached sound. Okay, and the thing about the violin is it's not just an Asian instrument, it's also found to play any kind of style, and that's the beauty of the violin. I decided to include that because it represents many different cultures. So as I mentioned earlier, the tabla. Okay. So the tabla is an Indian classical percussion instrument. Percussion is a drum instrument. Sorry. A percussion is a drum, right? So there are two types of this tabla. Okay? So not two types, sorry. There are two drums for the tabla. Okay? One is the small one, like this one over here. It produces a very sharp or a very thin sound, and it is balanced out by the bassy sound of the left tabla, okay? Which is usually bigger and has a very low tone to it. Use your fingers. Tabla uses fingers, so it's very, very intricate. Tablas usually have solos. I mean, they have their own solos. They may also have their own solo performance without accompaniment, but they are usually used as accompaniment instruments. So they accompany another musician or they may play for a dancer. So this dancer over here is called Kathak, and it's usually not this one, sorry. This guy over here dancing is Kathak. And the tabla player usually accompanies the Kathak. Unlike regular drums, it takes a lot of practice to get enough strength to even produce the slightest sound. It is not easy to, especially the small tabla, it's not easy to get a sound out because there's a very specific way you have to hold the tabla, hold your fingers. So if you move it, it won't make a certain sound. It's made of, by the way, the skin of the tabla or this top part here, the white and black part, is made of goat skin. So it's very thick, very hard to produce a sound. So it takes a lot and a lot of practice. You can get smaller sound. Okay. So this is the erhu. It's not a very common instrument, but it's a Chinese string instrument, and it only has two strings, and it's also played using a bow. This one. People say it tends to sound like a fiddle, so they call it the Chinese fiddle. They use it in orchestras, and they often have a solo due to their uniqueness. It's very similar to the violin, but it sounds slightly different. And it actually has a very beautiful sound. It just reminds me of Kung Fu Panda, actually. The music from Kung Fu Panda. It's very, very, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, so that's the thing about music. You can't really put it into words, and that's why music is what it is. This is a Malaysian instrument. Actually, there's an ongoing debate. I'm not sure it's coming from Malaysia, but you hear it a lot in Malaysian music. It has 11 strings, and it looks a bit like a guitar, as you can see in this picture. It looks very much like a guitar, except the shape is very different. And actually, the sound is completely different from the guitar. It's normally given its own solo, and it's plucked with something called a plectrum. Remember this word, plectrum, okay? It's like a small tool for plucking the strings. So I think it's hard to pluck the same string many times because that's how it's played. You can go and search for videos on the gambos because it's a very beautiful instrument. So you can go and see. Okay. So the instrument originated in Yemen, and it slowly made its way to Malaysia and became one of Malaysia's traditional instruments. Okay, well, that's it. I hope you learned something from this session. If you have any questions at all, you can always drop us a message on our Instagram handle, which is at FreEd.mckl. Sorry, not FreEd, at FreeEd.mckl. And yeah, any questions at all you have relating this quiz or anything to do with our project, if you want to know, you can message us. And there's also a quiz uploaded for you to try out this because I believe this is a pretty relaxed session, so I think it's time for you to go and do a quiz. But don't worry, after the quiz, you have something fun to do as well. Yeah, so enjoy this and Bye.